No one left behind is more than a standard we all live up to. It is a way of life. It is part of our mission. If you or someone you know finds themselves struggling with their mental health, please contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988 on your mobile phone or text 838 255 to speak or chat with a qualified counselor. Happy Friday, Run for the
Happy
Wall
Friday.
family. Well, it's Friday as we are recording this episode today. I am wearing red, but I'm headed to the ice rink after this. So I'm actually wearing my Caps jersey.
I'm wearing my red shirt too.
I was
but
feeling
I got a
hockey-ish.
Dixon on here.
Yeah. But
hey, welcome home, everybody, and welcome to the Run for the Wall podcast.
I know that you all are used to seeing us with a third co-host. Not this episode. This episode, you just have me, Hitch, and Boots.
That's right.
We promise that it will still be and hopefully entertaining, but informative above all things episode for you all. And then when we come back with the next episode, we will have a guest for you. You know, they definitely tried to join us this episode, but due to some technical difficulties, it wasn't possible. But, you know, we pivot.
That's right. It's all good.
Oh, man. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, and, you know, there are a lot of you have been tuning in. A lot of you have been reaching out to us. And I'm so excited for this group of FNGs. You all have been asking questions. You all have been writing to us, and it's awesome. But if this is your first time listening to the podcast, or you're new to Run for the Wall, or you don't know how to explain Run for the Wall to people, just let them know that Run for the Wall is the largest, longest, and oldest cross-country motorcycle run that's in support of veterans, prisoners of war, those serving, those KIA, those MIA. And we're just here at Run for the Wall doing our part by going from California to DC and DC to Marseille, Illinois, which is our wall-to-wall leg, just doing our part in raising awareness for our mission.
Yeah, okay. Just to follow up on that, because, you know, following the last podcast, I got a ton of questions, and people asked, how do you become a member? And I wanted to clarify that Run for the Wall is a cross-country motorcycle ride. We have 3 routes that go coast to coast. The central route, the midway route, and the southern route. And they start all in Ontario, California. And we all end up in Washington, D.C., 10 days to get across the country every May. And then we have a 4th route called the Sandbox route that goes from Washington, D.C. to the Middle East Conflicts Wall in Marseilles, Illinois. So there is no like members. There are no chapters. It's just a once a year cross country run. There's 4 routes to choose from, or routes, however you want to say that. And just come on and join us. You register at Run for the Wall, rftw.us. That's our website. And it's really a life-changing experience. It's more than a motorcycle ride. It's not a party. It's more of a rolling memorial, if you will, across the whole United States to bring honor and remembrance to those who are POW, MIA, to everyone who has served our country, first responders. It's for veterans and patriots alike. So come on out, join us. And if you don't ride a motorcycle, you can come out and watch us come by, wave a flag, say hi to the riders. We'd love to see you.
And although we don't have members, we do have volunteer opportunities that you can, you know, join in on your route, in your platoon, or what have you. And we do have a board of directors. So if you have additional time to dedicate to Run for the Wall, you know, by additional time, I mean like 3 years. No commitment. No, but seriously,
sometimes it feels like a full-time job. I tell you what.
If you have that additional time, then definitely you can get engaged on that level. And when he says, like, we start in California, end up in DC, it, it really is a mission. Throughout those 10 days, we're making very meaningful stops at schools, at VA hospitals, at memorials, and things of that nature. So it's not just ride, 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 ride. So, I mean, you really do have to come out and see it for yourself. And, I'm going to do a better job of pushing out some of the content that we have, or that I have gathered, at least from Central Route last year. I'll get that pushed out over the next couple of weeks, so that those of you who've either never been on the Central Route, you can see what happens on Central. Those of you who've never been on the run will get a good account of some of the things we do. And then after this year's run, we'll do it all over again for Midway, because that's where I'll be.
Yeah, and each of the routes has their own flavor, but the structure, and we're going to talk a little more about structure today since we don't have a guest. We're going to focus a little bit on a particular topic that's a big change for this year from previous years.
Okay.
And I think we've mentioned it before, but we'll get to that. But I did want to say that it's not like you said, Hitch. It's not just ride, 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 ride. Each day is broken up into segments. And so you ride probably no more than about 100 miles. Some segments are shorter. They could be as short as 30 miles, or they could maybe be as long as 100 and maybe 15, 120 before you stop for gas, rest, hydration, use the bathroom, whatever.
Bio break. And I'll say
bio
this
break.
though,
It's all
when it comes to knowing, because I know this may be a concern for some of you. It was for me when, my FNG year, I'm like, okay, how far are we going? Also, a motorcycle tank is only so big. So there's that.
Especially on your Victory Hammer.
So you to keep that in mind. But when you go to the website, I saw a lot of questions on one of my posts, and when are you coming through this state, or are you coming through this area? If you go to the website and you look under the routes and you click on each route, you're able to see, well, one, Boots has a map and it shows you, and it's color coordinated, where each route, goes through. But then if you go on the website and you click on each prospective route, it'll show you the day by day. It tells you how long each leg is. It tells you how long you're going to be at said stop. So it is really all laid out, and all the information that you need really is on the website, because the dude who runs the website, he's all, oh, I have to make sure all this information.
The dude.
That dude, yeah.
The dude abides.
The dude who runs the website.
The dude abides right here.
Yeah, Boots, no. But in all seriousness, Boots does a terrific job running that website and making sure that any and all information that we need is there somewhere. And
we're making it better all the time. Yeah, let us know.
Part.
Yeah, because we're about constantly improving, and every once in a while, I'll get a text or an email from someone. They'll say, "Oh, you've got a misspelled word, or you forgot something," and 9 times out of 10, that person is Rich Boy texting me from Hawaii, and that he has such a critical eye.
On it.
He is so on it. I really appreciate that about him, and
I love him.
He's great.
And you know what? After last episode, we actually got some messages saying some things were left out, and I think you're going to cover that today too. The things that were left out, or
absolutely. I haven't added them in yet because I do have a full-time job.
Your boss is such a man.
Yes. So yeah, we left a few hats out of the leadership hats. So I'm going to be adding 3 or 4 new hats in there and fine tuning that, just so that it's accurate. Because, and I didn't, I guess I knew, but it didn't dawn on me that on the Sandbox route, the RC and the ARC have a different color leadership hat than the rest of the other 3 routes. So I'm going to add that in there and a couple others, but that'll be for next time. We'll talk about that. I don't want to get too far into that, because in order to pull off a ride as big as Run for the Wall, and it's huge. I mean, we
Mhm.
travel the whole United States. We got probably between all four routes 1,600 riders, participants, and then we got family members and everybody who comes out. We could never pull this off without the support of our really great sponsors. And so I just want to call out Fuller Law for donating legal counsel to Run for the Wall. They can be reached at 1-855 Fuller Law. That's FULLERLAW, or on the internet at FullerLawForRiders.com. Also, the Greater Ontario Convention and Visitors Bureau. As I said, the three coast to coast routes start in Ontario, California, and the Ontario Convention and Visitors Bureau just shows us incredible hospitality each year. We couldn't do it without them. We have hydration sponsors that supply drinks and snacks, and we got Pepsi that supplies just a ton of stuff every year, and their chief rival Coca-Cola also pitches in. So thank you both. Grab a Pepsi, grab a Coke, and thank you to both of those companies for supporting our mission. We got AMSOIL on board. You can go to the homepage at rftw.us and click on that AMSOIL banner and buy some AMSOIL. I run it and everything I've got. It's great stuff. Climb riding gear. You could get a great discount on Climb gear. It's the best stuff there is. I wear Climb gear too. And that's on our website, as well as Nelson Rig. They make all kinds of great products for motorcycles and motorcyclists, and they're offering a 30% discount using the link that's on our homepage. So thank you to all those sponsors. We're always looking for more sponsors, new sponsors. They could be motorcycle industry or not motorcycle industry. Please get in contact with us because, again, in order to Run for the Wall expenses keep going up, and the biggest expense is insurance. And we want to keep this going. We want to support our veteran community and the families of veterans. And we can't do it without a lot of support from a lot of places. So if you're interested in sponsoring Run for the Wall, not necessarily this podcast, but the actual Run for the Wall Incorporated, which is a 501c3, your donations are tax deductible. Please contact us and we'll get you connected.
Yeah. And there are multiple ways to donate to Run for the Wall. So any amount, no matter how small you think or how large you think, it's definitely welcome.
Yeah.
I know sometimes we have some of the sponsors they have booths out in Ontario. Will AMSOIL be out there? Because is it Nelson Rig and Climb? They're there, right?
But
would AMSOIL?
I don't think they were there. AMSOIL sent us thousands of dollars worth of product that we stocked into the merchandise trailers on all three routes and then Sandbox. So I don't know what the deal is for this year. It's probably a little early for that. But if a sponsor wants to set up a booth, contact us and we'll make it happen.
There it is. All right. News and events. So you already know registration is open. So I just took a look at the numbers on the website, and just Central Route, they're in the lead, and I feel some type of way about that because we're midway this year. I'm gonna slide that in as many times as I possibly can, by the way. And then Sandbox, right behind them, they're in the 200s, and then we have Southern and then Midway. So come on, Midway, let's get registered.
Probably by the time this podcast comes out, the prices will already be up.
Increased. Yeah, they go up February 1st, and that's
that's Sunday, and today's Friday. Today's the 30th, so 2 days. I don't know if we're going to get this out by then, but get in there and register.
Yes, please get registered.
So we've got 102 days until KSU. That's as of today, January 30th, 2026. And all of the coast-to-coast routes will depart Ontario on Wednesday, May 13th, and the Sandbox route will depart, Washington, D.C. on Sunday, May 24th.
That's right. And if you don't already know where you are staying and you're registered, Chop chop. That hotel list was posted on the 1st of January. So for all the routes as well as the camping list, if you are not registered and you're just wondering like, oh, well, where do they stay? Like, where do they do their overnights? Hey, the hotel list is there.
And the camping
Some of
list.
these, yeah, and the camping list. Some of these hotels really roll out, the red carpet when we come in, and they have like run for the wall, like posters and snacks for our people and things like that. So again, we take all types of sponsors, and if they want to do discounts and things like that, hey, bring it.
Yep.
But yes, that is up. And as I stated earlier, volunteer positions. If you are looking to volunteer along the route, then send in the volunteer form that's on the website, and you'll be contacted with available positions that you may be able to lend your talents to.
Yeah. Right on.
Right on. Let's see, merch.
Where
So
are
do
we?
we have any deals right now for merch? Because I know there's always like some type of special or some type of deal that Angie may run with merch. But either way, get your 2026 merch. I know I said it in the last podcast, like, why wait until you get to California when you have to, or along the route, when you have to fight
Yeah.
for your size and then you have extra baggage? Order it, have it shipped to your house, let it be accounted for in the luggage that you're packing, and then you know that you are getting exactly what you want. So
Yep. And then also, if you need your run for the wall fix, you can get your monthly fix at a local meetup. And we have local meetups that meet like once a month for breakfast or lunch. Usually it's lunch in Arizona, Colorado, Mississippi, Northern California, Washington, D.C. If there's not one in your area and you want to start one, contact us and we will help you make it happen.
that's right.
Also, if you want to find out where and when for each of those areas, go on to the Run for the Wall forum at forum.rftw.us or check out the events calendar on rftw.us. It's in both places.
Thanks, Boots. All right, that brings us to our Why We Ride.
Absolutely. So each day on Run for the Wall, we take a moment and read a few bios of servicemen and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And today we are honoring or remembering Matthew P. Amaral III. He was born in 1946 on the 29th of November. He was from Gloucester, Essex County, Massachusetts. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Gloucester? You're on the East Coast.
I think so.
Okay.
That's how I pronounce it.
All right. He was an SP5 in the Army. There's not a whole lot of information here, but on December 14th, 1967, a UH-1H Huey flying with the 240th Assault Helicopter Company, the Greyhounds. This aircraft experienced a transmission failure while supporting Operation Klamath Falls in Boa Loke Pass. The aircraft crashed and burned. The crew included Aircraft Commander First Lieutenant Heron Brown II, Pilot William Clausen, Crew Chief Matthew P. Amaral III, and Gunner SP4 Ronnie K. Kindred. All crew members suffered fatal injuries in the crash. Matthew P. Amaral III's name can be found on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall on panel 31 East, line number 90. It is not the worst thing to die in war. It is not the worst thing to be missing in war. The worst thing is to be forgotten in war. That's why we say their names, tell their stories, and never forget. Matthew P. Amaral III, you are not forgotten. Your memory and sacrifice on behalf of our beloved country lives on in our thoughts and in our hearts. You will always be remembered whenever we stand and sing the words, land of the free and home of the brave.
Thank you, Boots, for sharing his story with us. All right. Well, that brings us to our customs and traditions. And you wanted to talk about the Benevolence Program.
Yeah, it's something we've never even talked about before.
No, we have not.
For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I'm going to share my screen because the Benevolence Program is up on the website, and it basically exists to provide grants to organizations that support veterans and the Run for the Wall mission. And we all know the mission: to promote healing among all veterans and their families and friends, to call for an accounting of prisoners of war and those missing in action, and to honor the memory of those killed in action from all wars, and to support our military personnel all over the world. Now, the Benevolence Program also provides grants to individual veterans or active duty military so that they may be able to participate in Run for the Wall. So if you go to the website, you go to the About Us tab and you pull it down, there's the Benevolence Program there. There's more information there. There's applications if you're a partnership or corporation, like a business, a veteran-owned business, and you'd like to apply for the Benevolence Program, the application is there. There's also for individuals. So if you are a veteran or active duty and you wanted to apply for one of these grants through the Run for the Wall Benevolence Program, that application is there too. A lot of people don't know about that. It's just something that's been part of Run for the Wall for many years, and that is a custom and tradition of Run for the Wall.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I honestly say it's not something that I had looked so much into. So I'm glad that you were able to share that. And I hope people are able to pass that information along to those who may need it. Awesome. All right. So, topic of the day.
Topic of the day.
And I mean, clearly, you all, since we don't have a guest, the topic of the day isn't going to be like a spotlight on that person and asking them all the questions so that we can get an account of their experiences and history on the run.
But just so you know, we're so winging this because, we had planned a guest and it didn't work out. But
we always have something to talk about, so it's fine.
Especially me. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about today, and this is for everyone. It's for FNGs. It's for experienced Run for the Wall participants, people in leadership, and especially you road guards. And you'll know why I'm going to say this in a minute. We have a new, is it a rule? Is it an initiative? Is that a guideline? What is it? It's a new thing.
New thing in the SOP.
Yeah, it is.
We have a new standard operating procedure.
There we go. New standard. Thank you, Hitch.
I mean, it's what SOP stands for. So I'm like, okay.
Look, I had to take care of something this morning, and I'm only on my second cup of coffee, and it's almost 11 o'clock. And so, like, when you miss that morning cup of coffee, it's like waiting to invest in your retirement account until you're in your 30s. You never catch up. So, okay. So here's the new standard. In previous years, Run for the Wall, when we're in formation, we're going down the highway. Traditionally, we rode side by side and tight, and I mean tight. Right, Hitch? That's how she got her road name, because she was. Yeah, you were right. You're like hitched onto my tour pack.
You said keep it tight, and that was the FNG. I was following rules. Okay,
you did.
A rule follower.
I couldn't believe how close you were. I was like, wow, she's really got this. You took it to heart.
And then I became a hitchhiker, but story
But
for another day.
that's a whole nother deal. It was raining and we were in a construction zone and it was Topeka. So, but
Uh,
back to the new rule. So in the past, we wanted you really, really tight. So like a 1 second behind the bike in front of you. This year, the new standard is 2 seconds. So, and also because of how things have progressed in the last probably 3 years, many of the platoons are staggered now, meaning you stagger each bike. You're not side by side. There's still a couple of side by side platoons depending on what route you ride,
mhm.
but most of the platoons, I believe, are staggered.
And what determines
Whether
which platoon that you're in? Can you request?
you actually can request, so if you're, let's say, for instance, on the Midway route, if you go to the website and go to the Midway Route Hub and look at the Midway Route contacts, look up the platoon coordinator, or you can contact your FNG liaison and you can request a specific platoon. And let's say you're riding with a friend or a relative, you can say, hey, I'm riding with, you know, Hitch and I want to be in her platoon.
Hmm.
Um, it's not a guarantee, but we'll do everything we can to make that happen. And also note that if your friend is riding a two-wheel motorcycle and you're riding a trike or a
Not gonna
spider,
happen.
that's not going to happen. Also, if your friend is a road guard and you're an FNG, you're not going to be riding with the road guards. But back to the standard. The standard now is 2 second interval. That means whether you're riding in a side-by-side platoon or a staggered platoon, the bike directly in front of you, you should be 2 seconds behind that bike. Not 1 second, not 3 seconds, but 2 seconds. And you want to maintain that. And remember, maintaining it means you almost control that throttle with your head, not your wrist. It's just back off a tiny little bit to slow down, and then increase a tiny little bit to speed up to minimize that rubber banding. When you do slow down, we ask that you downshift. Sometimes you'll downshift very aggressively rather than grab a handful of brakes. Because when you grab a handful of brakes, you panic people. Obviously, if you have to brake, for God's sakes, brake,
Hmm.
hit the brakes. Um, but practice this. A great way to practice this is to go on a group ride in a staggered formation. Hog chapters do it all the time. I ride with the hog chapter regularly. I'm the director of our local hog chapter here, go figure.
Hmm.
And that's how we ride, staggered in 2 seconds.
Okay.
And I'm super comfortable doing it. I'm also super comfortable riding side by side and tight. Now, the reason I said this is going to be important to road guards is because, first of all, road guard platoon, you're going to do your thing as always, and you don't need me to talk about how to road guard. But for the pack road guards who are coming by, and what we've done in the past is tighten up the pack, you're going to have to really lock this in and remember that it's not as tight as we're used to. It's 2 seconds. So there's probably going to be a lot less of the tightening up of the pack unless somebody's really straggling. And if a road guard does come by you and asks you to tighten up, normally we'll ride up next to you, get your attention, and then we'll ride exactly where we want you to be. And you should very gently speed up and get into that position till you get a thumbs up for the road guard, and then we're off and running again. And that's basically how it's done. And the reason we do that is law enforcement, we have to work with lots of people. Law enforcement wants a small a package as possible when we're moving through their jurisdiction so that they can get us through safely, control traffic, control
Mhm.
onlookers, bystanders, and everything else, and keep that package rolling across the country. That's it. That's the new standard. 2 seconds.
Yes, that's an important one. So I'm actually glad we had the opportunity to discuss it on the podcast. Otherwise, people wouldn't be getting this information until the mandatory meeting that would take place in
Now
Ontario.
that mandatory meeting, do people have to show up to that?
Yeah, they do because
Oh, okay.
it's
All right.
it's mandatory.
Oh, okay.
as well as the morning meetings every morning
Now, what
of
happens if you
the
miss that
front.
morning safety briefing?
You get to ride behind the pack or ahead of the pack by yourself.
That's right. That's an important point. We should talk about that. Every single morning, boys and girls, on every single route, there is a safety briefing. It's an all hands mandatory. That means you have to be
Mhm,
there. Safety briefing. So, whatever you're doing in the morning, make sure you get out of bed
mhm,
early enough to take care of whatever personal business you have to take care of. Get over to the meeting point, grab a cup of coffee and some breakfast. Normally,
mhm.
it's provided by volunteers and donations.
Sponsors, yep.
And
Mhm,
yep, take care of your bio needs and be at the morning briefing on time, because a lot of important information is passed on, whether it's a road closure or a change for the day or a
mhm.
weather update. Stuff happens. We're going 3,000 miles. We got 1,600 give or take motorcycles, and there could be a detour. There could be a change in route. There could be a weather update that you need to know about. So that's why we have those morning briefings. Also, there could be a change in the order of march. So anything could happen, and you want to make sure that you're aware of it. And that's why we say, if you, for whatever reason, miss that morning briefing for that day, you're going to be riding outside of the pack, either ahead of the pack or behind the pack. And you can join the next day. It's also why, and I get a lot of questions, can I join the Run for the Wall in Missouri? Well, yes, you can, but you can't join in the middle of the day. You need to join at one of our nightly stops. So that,
Mhm.
and the preference is to check in the evening so you can start with us in the morning. That way you get situated, you get your platoon assignment, you can possibly meet your platoon leader or assistant platoon leader or tail gunner or some of the other people in your platoon. Start forming those bonds, and in the morning, hit that morning briefing, line up with your platoon, and then roll with us.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. That's a perfect place to transition into tech tips with Ted.
Oh, that's right. What was I going to talk about today? I got to go
Key
back to my
fobs
notes.
and codes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm over here like key fobs and codes because you know what I don't have?
What don't you have?
A key fob for my
What? Well, okay. So, Hitch,
I have a
since you
key.
since you don't have a key fob for your motorcycle, I'm going to give a special tip for you. When you fold out your kickstart lever, you wanna cycle that to top dead center before you kick
Oh
start your
man.
motorcycle.
But for all you fancy people, apparently. But wait,
No,
do y'all have
no.
remote start too? Like,
I'm sure that's coming, or there's probably a BMW that's got it, but I have remote start on my F-150.
oh
But no,
man.
let's get back to business here. Let's talk about key fobs and codes. So, as you know, all modern motorcycles, almost all of them, come with a key fob, and that key fob has proximity, so that you have to have it in your pocket or on your person in order for your bike to start. Now, if the battery in your key fob fails, most bikes allow you to put in a code. It's normally a 5-digit code or a 6-digit code, and that will allow you to start your motorcycle and ride away without your key fob. Now, a couple things to know about these codes. First of all, you should know what your code is. So if you're riding any Harley made after 2014, they all have codes. And
Wow.
here's an important detail. There is a factory default code from Harley Davidson that's programmed into every single new bike. I am not going to say what it is over the air because I I just don't want to. But I can tell you this, so many times when I've been on Run for the Wall and a road guard will leave his flashers on, and the only way to turn the flashers off is to turn the ignition on and then turn the emergency flashers off. I go over to the road guard's bike, flip the ignition on, put in the factory default code. It turns the bike on. So, I mean, if I was going to ride away with somebody's bike, I could do it. But then I turn their flashers off and turn the bike off. Now, every once in a while, I'll go to do that, and the rider, the owner of the bike, has changed the code. That's my advice to you. I've changed my code. Change it away from the factory default. Change it to something you can remember, or write it down and put it in your wallet. Practice using that code. Go out to your motorcycle once a week or once every 3 rides and without your fob, and put that code into your bike, whether you're riding a Harley or a BMW or a Ducati or a Triumph. Probably not riding a Bruff Superior on Run for the Wall, but you get the point. Learn how to use that code so that if you lose your key fob or your battery dies, your ride isn't over then. And it's an important safety point. And I've seen lots of dead batteries and key fobs on Run for the Wall. I've also seen lost keys on Run for the Wall. Learn how to use that code. It will be a great savior. Keep it in a safe spot, and it's different on every bike, and it's a little bit convoluted on the Harley. You got to use the turn signal buttons, and you got to press them in the right order and everything. It's not hard to do, but again, when you're in that panic situation and it's stressful, you want to have been there before and not trying to figure it out, fumbling with an iPhone with the instructions or an owner's manual and the instructions. You really want to have this down pat so that you can get back on the road, and it's just not a panic situation. The other thing I wanted to mention was if you do carry a spare key fob, don't carry the key fob in your motorcycle. And if you do carry it in your motorcycle, take the battery out and tape it onto the outside of the fob. Otherwise, if you carry a spare key fob, and I know somebody who did this in my hog chapter, and they carried it in their saddlebag, just in case they lost the one that they carried on their keychain, that spare fob is activating that motorcycle 100% of the time. That means if you leave and it was a street glide, if you leave that thing unlocked, your tumbler unlocked, somebody can come up, start your bike, and ride away, and they've got the keys. So you can carry a spare fob, but just pull that battery out and use a little electrical tape, tape it onto the outside of the fob, and you're good. Also, that brings me to another point. Carry a spare key fob battery. I carry about a half a dozen of them in my bike because I do so much riding in groups. Invariably, I come upon somebody whose battery has failed, and it's just easy to pop that thing apart, throw a battery in there, and off you go down the road. So that's it. Key fobs and codes.
And if your battery goes dead, see Boots on Central Route anyway. No.
If you're actually, several people carry those superchargers, the plug and go. You're talking about your key fob battery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Key fob battery. Yeah. Lots of guys have spare batteries. I've got them. See me if you're on the Central route. We'll get you hooked up. But there you go.
All right. This is my favorite part because, like I said earlier, you all really showed up and showed out with reaching out to us. This isn't even all of the correspondence that we received, but it's the majority of them. I know some of them Boots responded to personally, but we're going to read the listener letters. We have like 4. So the first one says, "Greetings, great info and nice to put a face to the name. As a FNG, I'll be writing down from the Green Bay area, planning on getting there on the 12th. I'm a patriot, not military, with all branches of service in my family, excluding Marines. My Uncle Bill just passed this year. He was in Vietnam, artillery. My dad passed 2 years ago. He was in the Korean War on the USS Exploit, MSO 440. I ride with Honor Bound Motorcycle Ministries, and though I can't serve as an FNG, I will be available to serve my nationals as needed. Cannot wait to meet and ride with you all. How far are we going? All the way and wall to wall. Is it May yet? Michael Anderson, short haul. Keep looking up. Thank you so much for that, Michael. And you never know what they may need. Let your platoon leader know. Stop. Stop. I'm talking too fast. Let your platoon leader know. Like, hey, if there's anything I can do, let me know. But more so, I want you to be able to enjoy being an FNG though. So
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, we got another one. This is from Jeffrey Chicken Schmitz. says, hi, Boots and Hitch. Love the podcast. We noticed the sponsor list seems to be a little short for such a large event organization like RFTW. Are you looking for more? What type of sponsors are you seeking? I'll tell you, and I responded to Jeffrey, but to Jeffrey and anyone else out there who's wondering, we're seeking any sponsor who will be willing to donate money or products to Run for the Wall. That's the type that we're seeking.
And you know what? Today I was actually looking at influencer type things for sunblock, because with Valor having alopecia and all. Yeah. And so that would even be a good one, because we need it out there.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So absolutely. When I say anything, we mean anything.
We do. We really do. And we're trying to grow Run for the Wall. We're trying to grow our mission and our reach, and provide more healing and support for military personnel and families. And anything that somebody wants to donate that is of value, that will further our mission, would be very gratefully accepted.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one.
You want me to read that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see it's in blue. So yeah. I didn't know. Okay, it says, hello, this is Breacher, Cliff Brummels. Your podcast is amazing, and I hope one day can be a guest. I started in 2018 with my wife and our dog Molly on the southern route, and now Midway. I've had numerous positions such as platoon leader, assistant platoon leader, tail gunner. For the past 4 years, have been quartermaster for 3 routes, and ambassador, and very rewarding to support the mission. I'm a 20-year retired Army veteran. Thank you for your service, Cliff. This podcast with Alex and Patty from Alaska, I can relate because I lived for 2 years and met my wife. Lived there for 2 years and met my wife. Very much looking forward to this year again, and also looking forward to meeting Alex. Like to be a guest to tell my story and experience why we ride for the ones that can't. Thank you. And yes, Breacher, I will reach out to you and we will get you on the schedule. We'd love to have you on. But you're going to have Molly there too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next one, I made this one pink because it only had my name on it. I don't know why they left you off.
That's all right.
No, but I'm
cool with that.
It says,
totally cool with that.
Hey, Hitch, nice job on podcast season 2, episode 9. Run for the Wall is absolutely an emotional journey. My F&G year was 2013, and Run for the Wall still causes me to have goosebumps every year. I've been a road guard on the, I guess southern that's going to be Southern and not Sandbox, on route. The Southern route. Oh, wait, it says 2022. But will be a road guard on Midway in 2026. See you in Ontario. Yes, you will, Jaybird.
That's Jaybird. Yeah, right on.
And then we do have one last letter. This one is from Bonehead. I'm trying to take out some of the stuff that really doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, I won't read that. That's fine. So yeah, Bonehead, we're cool, brother. Okay, just want to make sure you know. Bonehead says, finally got a chance to watch a new podcast. First, thanks for mentioning PFC Dan Bullock. A few years back, I laid a brick for him at Angel Fire. Wow, that's awesome. And and he sent a picture of that brick.
He did.
But, yeah. If any of our missing man riders on southern route asked to help them select an honoree, he would be one of the first I'd recommend. And then he also mentioned that we forgot some state coordinator hats. That's cool. I told you I'll get those up there. Thank you for that. I appreciate the input, Bonehead, as always. He said a few other things. As you know, folks will see these volunteers at various stops along the way in their states, and a few ride as day riders or all the way. Please keep up the good work on the podcast. They're great information, and along with the Facebook pages and groups, websites, and forums. I am pointing my 4 FNGs for Southern Route towards them. Respectfully, Mike, Bonehead, Kaiser. Thank you again, Bonehead. We appreciate it, and I appreciate all you do, really.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I mean,
that's all we got.
Full 45 minutes. For more information, please be sure to visit the Run for the Wall website at www.rftw.us. And we want you all to be social with us. We want more listener letters. Send us your questions. If you're interested in being on the podcast, like the one letter, hey, let us know. Like, we're not gatekeeping over here. If you want to join us, you have information to share, let us know. Like, we're open. But write to us at pod at rftw.us. Did you have anything else to add before we wrapped up?
I got
Boots?
nothing. That's all I got.
So until next time, how far are we going?
All the way.
That's right. Oh man, we did it. We made it. All right. No exit music today, y'all. I didn't have it queued, but see you in May.
See you in May.